What happens when a company becomes so essential to the future of technology that even its greatest success becomes a warning sign? Nvidia just delivered another stunning earnings report and Wall Street celebrated, as it almost always does when Jensen Huang's chip empire opens its books. But beneath the headline numbers, beneath the champagne and the congratulations, there's a tension building that deserves far more attention than the victory lap currently dominating financial media. Let's start with what Nvidia actually delivered. The company posted results that, by any traditional metric, should be impossible. Revenue figures that analysts once considered aspirational became the floor, not the ceiling. Data center demand, the engine driving Nvidia's extraordinary run, continued to surge as hyperscalers like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta pour billions into AI infrastructure build-out. These aren't speculative investments. These are companies making generational bets on artificial intelligence, and Nvidia's H100 and Blackwell GPU architectures are the picks and shovels of that gold rush. And yet, here's where the story gets genuinely complicated. Nvidia crushed its earnings, yes, but the company simultaneously acknowledged what industry insiders have been quietly whispering about for months: supply simply cannot keep up with demand. The AI chip supply crunch is not a future problem. It is a present crisis operating in slow motion. When Nvidia itself signals that it cannot produce chips fast enough to satisfy the orders pouring in, that tells you something profound about the structural dynamics of this industry. Consider the manufacturing bottleneck. Nvidia designs its chips, but it relies almost entirely on TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, to actually fabricate them. TSMC operates some of the most advanced semiconductor fabs on Earth, but building new capacity takes years and costs tens of billions of dollars. There is no quick fix. No emergency lever to pull. When demand spikes faster than production capacity can scale, the result is allocation queues, extended wait times, and a pecking order where only the largest, wealthiest customers get priority access to the most powerful hardware. This creates a fascinating and somewhat troubling dynamic in the AI ecosystem. Companies that can afford to stockpile Nvidia GPUs are doing exactly that, not necessarily because they need every chip immediately, but because they fear being locked out of supply in the future. This hoarding behavior, rational at the individual company level, actually accelerates the very shortage it's designed to protect against. It's a classic supply chain feedback loop, and it's playing out right now in the most strategically important technology sector on the planet. There's also a geopolitical dimension that cannot be ignored. U.S. export restrictions on advanced AI chips to China have reshaped global supply flows, redirecting certain chip allocations while simultaneously pushing Beijing to accelerate domestic semiconductor development. Every restriction tightens the global supply picture in ways that ripple back to affect customers everywhere, not just Chinese buyers. Meanwhile, competitors are watching carefully. AMD is pushing its Instinct MI300X accelerators harder than ever. Intel is attempting a comeback with Gaudi. Custom silicon efforts from Google's TPUs to Amazon's Trainium are maturing. But none of these alternatives have yet dented Nvidia's overwhelming dominance in the training workloads that matter most to frontier AI development. So where does this leave us? Nvidia's earnings are genuinely extraordinary. The business is performing at a level that redefines what a semiconductor company can be worth, can earn, can influence. But the supply crunch looming over this success story is not a minor footnote. It is a structural constraint that will shape which companies win and which fall behind in the AI race over the next several years. The real question isn't whether Nvidia is successful. It clearly, undeniably is. The question is whether success at this scale, built on a foundation that cannot be replicated fast enough, is creating a bottleneck that could ultimately slow the very AI revolution Nvidia is powering.